Okay, so now we're going to go look at cameras. So if we go to cinematic here, that's what you were thinking, cinematic cameras, cine camera, we can drag that in. Well, this is actually a different kind of camera. This is more like for cinematic sequences, like when the camera takes over and like a scene plays out. You're not actually in control of the camera or whatever. So our normal camera is actually in all classes here. And if we click there, we can get this camera here. And you can see we have this camera actor view here. And it's really cool. It's easy to add post-processing effects with camera. You can just go down on the settings here and you can color grade it. You can add chromatic aberration, things like that. So, you know, really push the limits of your game. So add some bloom. If you're not familiar with what these are, you can just play around with them. They're just kind of fun ways to make it look a little bit more realistic and add real-world effects to our video games. I'm not going to go through every one of these post-processing features. I'd encourage you, though, to play with them, play around with them. Not all of them are going to make sense. You may have to Google some of them, or you can ask me later. But things like motion blur, you should be able to understand that. You're not going to see it until you're moving fast and around. I guess we could do a test of motion blur right now. Let's crank that up real high. Let's go into the game and see if we move real fast, if we get any kind of motion blur. It doesn't look like it. I think we'll have to take control of that camera. So right now when we hit play, we don't go into the camera view at all. Our camera view, we can click on our camera here. Our camera view is actually over there. So let's spin that around. So it's looking outside. And let's back it up here. We'll start off with that as our camera view. Now, as I was mentioning, when I hit play, I'm not getting the camera view, okay? So how can I do that? Well, first I need to select my camera. And then if I go down, I can hit auto player activation here. And I can go player 0. Now if I hit play, I automatically assume the view of my camera, okay? So that's how that works. Now I'm locked out of being able to control it. So without going any further, we'll get into that. We'll get into controlling the camera when we start building our own scene out. But for the purposes of this, that's okay. So I'm going to go ahead and escape there, and we'll move along. And up next, let's talk about this volumes. And so I'll see you in the next lesson.